This is your limitation. What keeps you limited and imprisoned with this box? And this box just takes place in your mind. Okay, it's a state of mind. The prison of the mind is not tangible. It just takes place between these ears. And that's not even true even there, but you relate to what I'm talking about. What keeps you imprisoned within this box is judgments. Judgment. Judgment is the glue that keeps this box together. We all know it's very easy for us to identify. You're going, well, what judgment? Well, you're looking at the negative. You're going, well, okay, well, negative is a judgment. But what's positive? What's positive? It's another form of judgment. Do you understand? Now, there's a part of you struggling to understand what I'm talking to you about because you may not be aware of what else is there besides positive and negative. Because you only know your world, your reality as duality. But there's something beyond this box that transcends the positive and negative. In fact, if you bring the positive and negative together, and the only way you can bring the positive and negative together is by doing what is opposite. What is the opposite of judgment? Yeah, just scream it out. Acceptance. Acceptance. Can you close that door, please? Acceptance is the opposite of judgment. But how do you accept? How do you accept? Especially when you have a huge negative charge or a huge positive charge. How do you accept? This is yes, but let go. And this is the thing. How do you let go? So this is why people can't live this. I'll come back to you. How do you I'm just posing questions, right? I'm not looking for the answers. Okay? How do you let go? How do you accept? Because it's acceptance or letting go is not a doing process. And that is the confusion. You're continuously looking to do acceptance. You're looking to do loving, to do compassionate. It's a being process. You be compassionate, you be loving. So around this box is what I refer to as the electric fence. Now, what do we use an electric fence for in life? Keep things in, keep things out. You use the same thing. You use that electric fence to keep you imprisoned and to keep others away from you, to make sure you feel safe. Every time you go to the edge of the electric fence or you go towards the edge of your box and touch the electric fence, what happens? What's that shock? Judgment. That's a discomfort that comes. And there's a part of you goes, I don't want to go there. We all have this feeling that feels empty within us. Empty. Okay? I talk about this in the Intuitive Warrior event. That within us, there's this empty feeling. And some of us are like, oh no, I don't have that empty feeling. Because you'll make your life so busy to avoid the empty feeling. You go shopping, you go eating, you make it busy, you're occupied. TV, you get caught up in your addictions in whatever form they are. To avoid that empty feeling. Guess what that empty feeling is? The edge of your box. Guess what's beyond the edge of the box? Your power. Your freedom. Your true infinite power. Your power is not outside of you, but we continuously pursue power in the external world thinking, because there is a part of you that feels this power. But because you live only in duality, you know the power to be only outside of you. But the power is within you. So what tends to happen is that when someone feels this emptiness within themselves, and this is why we continuously create circumstances in our life to happen, when the shit hits the fan, if you like, you're forced to sit down and go, what's going on? And feel. When you break up with your partner, when you have a divorce, when you have a failure of some sort, that's the only time you stop and go, and reevaluate. And you know what you're doing when you're reevaluating? You're feeling. You create things to happen to make you stop and go, feel. Within that emptiness is who you are. But what happens is that when you stop and you feel that emptiness, and it's not emptiness. I mean, emptiness, the power is emptiness. And you'll understand what I mean by that later on. Okay? But you're experiencing the electric fence, which is protecting or is the skin of this power. And the moment you go towards this electric fence, you go, I don't want to go there. So what do? Then you go to your head and look for solutions on how you can fix, improve, or change your reality to make this empty feeling go away. If I had a boyfriend now, I wouldn't have that problem. If I had an extra $1 million, I wouldn't have that problem. If I was driving that car, I wouldn't have that problem. You create a goal, an outcome for you to pursue, because you think the moment I get that, I'll be happy. But what happens is that when it's come from the emptiness, the moment you accomplish it, that's if you accomplish it, you're left with the same empty feeling. How many times have you gone and pursued a goal, and the moment you achieve it, you're like, is that all? I feel empty. I don't feel enough. Who's ever experienced something like that? That's from that. I'm not here to talk about the box this weekend. There's lots of seminars in relation to the box. Lots and lots of seminars. And if you want to understand that more, you can go do the seminar. What I'm here to talk about is what's beyond the box. The box, your life story, the things that you've labeled as positive and negative, is just your prison. You see, this is all relating to the past and the future. Where's the present in here? Who believes they have free will? Put your hand up if you believe that you have free will. Okay, put your hand down. Who's not sure? Who believes that they don't have free will? Okay. Here's the thing. I believe who you truly are has free will. But most people do not use the free will. I believe you have free will, but you do not use it. Okay? Here's the thing about free will. Free will is when you are making a choice that is free. It's a choice that comes from a free place. Do you understand? In other words, you're already free and you are making a choice. You are willing a decision. But most people are not free. They're making their choices to become free. Do you understand? And their choices are influenced because free will is not influenced by anything. Love is not influenced. Infinity is not influenced. Most people's thinking and choices and the things that they are willing is based on the past and future experiences. So you have a choice that you're looking at right now in this present moment. You have a choice that's going to affect your future. But the choice that you have is only infinite. It's only infinite when it is not influenced. The moment it's influenced by your past or negative experiences, your future negative, positive or negative experiences, it's no longer free will. Does that make sense? That's not free will. I'm not saying you don't have free will. I'm saying if you're living in the box, you don't. You're just a pawn in the chess piece, being moved around. You're an actor in a movie. An actor in a movie is experiencing the movie to be real. But at the end of the day, it has a script to play. What I'm here to do this weekend is get you to realize you're not only the actor, but you are the writer and the director of your movie. The writer and the director has free will. The actor doesn't. The actor has to play the script. Now, some actors become really awesome actors, and they have influence over the script. Influence. They can't change a script. Maybe they're a Nicole Kidman or something of some sort. Very high class actor, top of the 5-star actor. And let's say Nicole is playing this scene right now where she's got to enter the room this way. But she looks at the writer and director and goes, doesn't do it for me. And the writer and director's like, why? This is the scene we've made. You got to walk in through the door here. And she's like, no, this is my bad side. I want to walk in that way, so you have my good side on the camera. The writer director goes, okay, let's rewrite the screen a little bit, and the door's now here. But it's still playing out the same role. You can, as the actor, you can choose to experience your life story differently by being positive or negative. You can choose your experience of something, but you're not choosing what's happening. You're not choosing the script. In your film, it's designed for you to think that you are choosing. In the film that you're playing in, the movie that you're playing in, it's designed for you as the character to think you're in control. But you're not. You have no control. Zero. You are not driving the bus. This body here, the body, does not have control. It is not driving the bus. Now, some of you find that difficult to comprehend. Like, well, what do you mean? Because your ego wants to be in control. The part of you that wants control is the part of you that is in least control. But I'm saying to you over this weekend is that this is not who you are. The physical, and you will understand what I'm talking to you about throughout today. This body is not who you are. I'm saying you do have control. You are the writer and the director of the movie. But if your reality is measured by your story, by the positive and negative experiences that you're creating through your circumstance, then you're not the writer and director of your movie. You see, the writer and director of your movie is the positive and the negative coming together. You'll see many teachings about the balance. Yes? The balance. What's the balance? It's equal positive, equal negative. And there's many teachings out there teaching you to find balance in your life. Yes? Who believes it's important to find balance in your life? Put your hand up if you think it's important to have balance. Most of you putting your hand up thinking it's important to have balance. Okay? I agree with you. It's important for you to find balance because balance gets you to the door of the truth. But balance is your prison. Can you not see that? The balance is the prison. If there's strength, there'll be weakness. If there's positive, there'll be negative. If there's peace, damn sure there'll be war. Do you understand? Heaven is a state of mind. Fear or hell is the resistance of what's going on within the balance. Balance is important. It's been taught through centuries to bring balance into your mind. Absolutely important. But we've now got to the next genre of information. And you are not here just to balance your life. You're here to transcend the balance so you can become life. It's like when you're a child and you go on the seesaw. You know you go on the seesaw? Yeah, you sit at the edge of the seesaw. All right? When you're at the edge of the seesaw, what happens to the up and down you experience in your life? It's great ups and downs, yes? Balance is important because it makes the up and down less. Okay? So as you bring balance into your life, what happens is that you start moving closer to the center of the seesaw. What happens as I get closer to the center of the seesaw? What happens to the up and down? It gets less and less. Do you understand? That's what balance does. It neutralizes the positive and negative. It gets you to the door of the truth, but you're still experiencing up and down. You're still experiencing limitation. The lady over there said it beautifully before. The positive and negative is still finite. Who you truly are is an infinite being. You came here to lose yourself so you can find yourself. This will make beautiful, artistic sense by the end of today. So, the only way to transcend, what happens when you transcend the balance? So here you are, you're going up and down, up and down. The moment you transcend the balance, in other words, you walk through the door of truth, and you don't know truth, but you become it. You stand in the center of the seesaw. What happens when you stand in the center of the seesaw? No more up and down. Do you understand? Your game changes. Your game changes. It turns upside down. There is no more up and down. The up and down will still be experienced in your life, but not within you. The moment you say something is positive or something is negative, you have manifested something that's infinite into something that is finite. You have infinite power. You have infinite potential. Who you truly are is an infinite being. You've heard the statement that you are not a human being having a spiritual experience. The other way around. No, that was it. We are not human beings having a spiritual experience. We're spiritual beings having a human experience. No, fuck, whatever. It's what happens when I pick something out of my head that's not part of my flow right now. So here's the thing. I said this to you before. To know one, you must experience the other. Okay, so balance is important, but you're not here to live in balance. You're here to transcend the balance. Okay, love. True universal love, and I'll be talking more about love after the break. True universal love doesn't have an opposite. How can something that is one have an opposite? See, in duality, dualism, polarity, whatever you want to call it, in duality, everything is two. And of those two, they're equally balanced. If something is positive, it has equal and opposite negative. If you don't believe that, if you're not experiencing that, it's because you choose not to see it because you're attached to the positive or you're attached to the negative. But how can there be two of something that's one? Who's heard of that term oneness before? Or unity? Put your hand right up. Okay? Oneness. If everything is one, how can there be an opposite? How can there be a balance of it? We'll talk about that after the break. So here's the thing. This is the box. I just want to put the lingo out on the table so as I refer to this throughout this weekend, you'll know what I'm talking about. The box is the self. It is your identity. It is your reality as you know it. It's the thoughts that are driven from the past and the future. It is your life story, which all the things that I've talked about. I talked to you about the electric fence and what the electric fence is. You started to build this box, build this identity the moment you were conceived in your mother's womb. The moment you came into this world, you started to build your identities. You started to bite your hand and go, oh, that's my hand. You started to look in the mirror and touch yourself and touch the mirror and realize, oh, that's me. This body is who I am. This is why, by the way, when the child is born, the first thing they do is they put it on the mother's womb, because the moment the child is born, it is having an experience that can be considered as, what's the word, traumatic, because it is now perceiving to be or experiencing itself to be separate from everything. Does that make sense? So the moment you came into this world, you started to experience separation. You beat your hand, you go, oh, that's my hand. Then you started to play with your toys and go, that's my doll. That's my doll. That's my car. That's my sweater, my jumper. They're my stickers. They're my grades. Don't copy my grades. And you started to grow up. That's my job. That's my side of the fence. Your house is over there. That's my car. This is my community. It's my football team. You continue to build the identity. It's my company. It's my city. It's my country. And you fight for it. You fight for it because you're fighting for your existence through those identities. The only part of you that needs to fight for existence is the part of you that does not exist. Your ego. It doesn't exist. It's not real. You have built it. You have created the ego the moment you perceive to be separate. The only thing that is ever born and ever dies in this world is your ego. Because something that is infinite is never born and never dies. It's your ego. You gave birth to your ego. And you came here to allow your ego to die so you can truly live. Who's heard the spiritual term that we are here to die before we die? You've probably heard those phrases before. You are to die before you die. Which part of you is dying? The ego. And if the ego is alive, which it really doesn't exist, but you created it. You created it because the moment you perceive to be separate, then you need an ego. And again, this will make sense as we go along after morning tea. This is what a boxed reality looks like. You have a thought that is positively or negatively charged. The moment it's positively or negatively charged, guess what? It's from the past or the future. Because the thought that comes from this present moment is neutral. Okay? When I say it's neutral, it doesn't mean it's nothing. It comes from nothing. It comes from nothingness. Okay? But in that neutrality is your power. Okay? I'm going to have to remind that to you over and over again because people will go, well, neutral sounds boring. It's not positively or negatively charged. Love is not positive nor negative. Infinity. You see, the love that I'm talking about is not human-made. So some of you are sitting here being confused and going, but love is positive. No, the love that I'm talking about is infinite. Something that is infinite cannot have two, cannot be positive and negative. And if you say that something is positive, it has its opposite. It's a negative. This is why what I'm saying to you cannot be described into words. So what I'm talking about here when I'm saying your thoughts, I'm about to put it up here. Your thoughts. I'm talking about your positive and negative thoughts. I'm talking about the thoughts that have a charge in it. The thoughts that are past or future related. I'm not talking about the universal loving thoughts that are not thoughts that you're thinking, but thoughts that are happening through you. That's two different things. I love people who always try to be positive. I'm positive, I'm a positive thinker, and they become addicted to just turn around to positive. Yes, that's the kindergarten stuff of what we're talking about. Well, it's better to be positive than negative. You know, you push the negative. But when you're just trying to be positive, guess what you're doing? You're just pushing the negative aside. Because something that's positive has a negative too. So you're trying to do positive thinking, positive thinking, positive thinking. Thinking, well, you're in control and your thought's going to create your reality. Do you know what your thoughts are? Your thoughts are an expression of the things that you've held on within you. Remember, the past experience, you had a negative thought. You guys saw this in the common thread. You had a negative thought, and in today, you're projecting that negative thought into the tomorrow. Where are your thoughts coming from? So you had this person who's trying to be positive, and they're suppressing their negative. And what happens when you suppress the negative? Then you've got to go to see a doctor and go, I'm depressed because I've been depressing myself. I've been depressing a part of myself. And then the doctor will give you a pill to stop feeling that negativeness. But you didn't come here to get rid of the negative. You came here to accept it. When you accept the negative, what are you doing? You're embracing it. The only way, you guys said, the only way you can go beyond the box is through acceptance. Guess what you do? Because I said, well, how do you do acceptance? Okay, most people think acceptance is something you do in your head. Well, you just accept it. I just accept it, and that's when you become all woo-woo and spiritual. Someone's done something to you, and you go, I'm going to accept you for doing what you've done. I forgive you. Forgive you means I am in judgment of what you've done, but I will forgive you. Because I'm a greater person. But inside of them, they've got this fireworks going on. And they're just trying to be spiritual and go, I forgive you. I love you just the way you are. But they don't. because inside they have this negative turmoil going on still. And they just disguise it. So you're not here to suppress any part of you. You're here to experience and express every part of you, even the negative. Even the negative. But you continuously go to all these seminars and all these different books, and life teaches you continuously that if you're negative, if you're having negative thoughts, you're having negative emotions, it means you're a failure. So then you continue to hide that negative thoughts. But all you're doing is suppressing it and giving it fuel, giving it fire, giving it power. And then it'll come out. It will come out through your body through a form of thoughts. It will come out through your body through forms of expressions, reactions. Someone pulls out in front of you in the shopping line at Woolworths. You have a reaction because you've been holding negative stuff. And if it doesn't get expressed through your reactions, it will start coming out through your body, through a physical reaction. You know, stress, disease, that kind of stuff. Whether you like it or not, it's coming out. It's a part of you. If you want to become whole and complete and transcend your limitation, transcend your finiteness, transcend your judgments, you must embrace both sides of it, the positive and the negative. So, I was talking to you about this box reality. An individual will have a positive or negative thought. That thought would then determine the perception. Now, what's a perception? Perception is if I wore sunglasses right now and my lens were blue, my reality would be completely blue. What's your name? Roya? Is that your name? Roya? If Roya was wearing sunglasses that was yellow, her lens were yellow, then everything she will see in her reality would be yellow. Now, I could be sitting here arguing with Roya. I'm going, Roya, everything is blue. Roya's looking to me, no, everything is yellow. Who's right? We both are according to our own perceptions. But truth, with a capital T, has no perception. So the only way we can experience the truth is if we both took our sunglasses off and we would see the same thing. Does that make sense? So perception is just determined based on your past positive and negative experiences. So you have a thought, the thought determines your perception, the perception then determines your experience, whether it's positive or negative. That experience then determines your belief. Your belief will then re-influence the original thought you had as, well, that's what's real. And that's what you call reality. And that goes over and over again. So then here I am saying, no, there's something more, but you're going back to your past beliefs, and then you're going back to your experience that created your beliefs, and you're going back to your perceptions. Can you see what I'm saying? What I'm talking about is not positive or negative. What I'm talking about is beyond this. And there you have perception.